Hello and welcome to another edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I'm your host, Rod Wilt, and I am the Executive Director of Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we are Mercer County, Pennsylvania's certified economic development organization. Our motto is Make It in Mercer County, and our role is to create low-cost financing solutions for recruiting, retaining, and growing jobs and business opportunities in every corner of our county. The sole purpose of this program is to showcase people and organizations that are making things happen here. We interview them to find out why they have chosen Mercer County, Pennsylvania as a great place to live, work, and play. We're producing this show in conjunction with Teal College students, faculty, and staff, and we're coming to you from the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios in the James Pettis Communications Center on Teal's campus in Greenville. If you would like to connect with our Improvement Movement team to see how you can make it in Mercer County, please visit our website at penn-northwest.com or give us a call at 724-662-3705. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Penn Northwest Development Corp. Or connect with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. We're joined today by Scott Patton from Mercer County State Bank. He's the president and CEO. And Scott, you've been there for some time, but your career actually goes back to banking, over 25 years in the business or close
Yeah,
to
well,
it.
I started banking about 15 years ago, actually.
Okay.
So with National City, was a branch manager for National City for about 5 years.
Well, you're a local guy, so was
But
that
yeah,
locally?
so local. Grew up in near Sandy Lake. Went to Lakeview schools. Got my degree from Grove City College in finance, and then started in banking shortly after that. Went through a few years with National City, and then worked with went to a community bank, Farmers National Bank out of Emlenton, and worked for them for about 5 years. And then my predecessor called me one day and said, I knew Ray Kaltenbaugh from my growing up in the Sandy Lake area, and actually Mercer County State Bank gave me my first mortgage 30 years ago as a young man, newly married, and things kind of went from there. I've been at Mercer County State Bank for 8 years now, president and CEO for the last 3.
So I wasn't aware because my notes were not correct, and they're my notes. I don't have anyone to blame. But what was your career coming out of Grove City College, and what attracted you to the banking business?
So out of Grove City College, as most or early college graduates do, you don't quite find what you want right away. So I worked in insurance for about a year, and then I had a friend that was working in banking at National City. Said, "Hey, I got an opportunity," and it went from there, and I fell in love with banking. And then when National City had the problems they had, the branch I was working at was actually bought by Farmers Bank out of
And that's how
Emlenton.
you transitioned
And
then.
that's how I
Okay.
transitioned into community banking. And boy, I thought I knew banking from working at a big bank, and that's where I really fell in love with banking.
Is the community aspect
Was
of it.
it the community? Yes, a smaller community bank, and you can actually make a difference in the communities you're in.
And that's really the mission of Mercer County State Bank,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. We really believe in the communities that we're in, supporting those communities, and if our communities thrive, the bank will thrive.
And you're still headquartered in that Sandy Lake
We're
area?
still headquartered in Sandy Lake. We've been there 111 years. Actually, longer if you trace the roots back. It was two banks that had started in the 1870s that merged together in the early 1900s.
So you're almost a caretaker in one of your roles.
Absolutely. Yes.
A
Yeah.
caretaker of history. Talk about some of the communities you are in, because I think now you're crossing the county line. Is that true or not?
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
absolutely true. We are 10 locations: Mercer County, Crawford County, Butler County, and Venango County.
And that growth, is it coming through acquisitions of branches, or is it just organic growth where you're planting new flags?
So I would say 25 years ago, several branches were bought from Mellon Bank, who was moving out of small communities and selling those branches. and it really fit the niche of Mercer County State Bank at those times. So, you look at our Cambridge Springs office, our Fredonia office, Clintonville office. Those were all bought from Mellon back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then really it's been organic and what in the banking industry they call de novos, which would be a new location. Most recently we opened a branch in Hermitage, and then shortly after that Harrisville.
And how do you pick those communities? You just kind of see where the action is and where the opportunities are?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually different. With those last two, it was different aspects. We looked at Hermitage, really that Shenango Valley is the heart of Mercer County. We're Mercer County State Bank, and we didn't have a presence there. We had a lot of customers from there, but I thought it was very important that we were in that community. And then when we went to Harrisville, just happened to be timing. Another larger bank was the only bank in town, and they decided they were closing the doors and leaving that community without a banking institution.
Well, Scott, there is a trend in the industry to downsize branches anyway and go to these smart tellers and some of these other things. How have you seen your branch network thrive in a time when a lot of banks that are very successful are saying, hey, this face-to-face contact with the customer may not be what it used to be?
As we look at it and we talk about it, and a lot of banks will say this, it's all about relationships. And it truly is at our bank. And you look at those small communities that the larger institutions are pulling out, and they've got their charts and their research, and it shows, well, we can leave here and we're only going to lose this many customers, and we're going to retain everything because the customers are tied into our online banking and our digital banking and everything else, and they don't really need, and it's too hard for them to switch, so we won't lose them as customers. And they just pull out of a community because they are looking to maximize their profits.
So that's driven by the data analytics then?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And what's nice about a community bank with local shareholders, I know the majority of our shareholders, and they're not, not that they don't want to make a profit, right? Because
you have to
that's
make
why
a profit.
you have to make a profit. But
right?
It's more important to them that they make a profit, but that we're serving the communities, and they truly believe that and live. Part of our mission to live by that.
So your bank branches then have not really seen a big decrease in foot traffic now that we're coming out of the pandemic?
No, I think over the years, all branches have seen a decrease in foot traffic. As we become better at serving our customers through.
You can do more through the drive-through and
drive-throughs, online banking. You can make a deposit with your phone by taking a picture of a check.
I just did that over the weekend.
Yeah,
I haven't done it much, but it still was pretty cool. The technology is actually getting a lot faster, man. It's a lot easier to do.
Absolutely, you take a picture and it's there and you can use it.
And does that make the bank more profitable, or do you think it's really not about profit? It's just about being user friendly.
It doesn't make us more profitable in the end. You're switching. I may not need as many tellers to process transactions at a branch, but we can utilize those people in other roles. But we're paying for that technology to be able to use it. So it doesn't make us more profitable. But as things evolve, customers want things faster. They want them quicker. They want ease, convenience. So we need to do those things to compete with our competition.
But a small community bank sometimes isn't known for innovating.
Well,
so you've had to bring folks along.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're never going to be an innovator of technology, but I'd like to think we can be a fast adapter, and the technology partners that we have help us to do that.
So let's move off of that and let's talk about some of your customers, because in my role at Penn-Northwest, we use partner banks a lot for our grant and loan programs, and obviously you folks have been a really good partner for Penn-Northwest over the years. But outside of the consumer, I want to talk about both sides, the consumer and business side. So what does a Mercer County State Bank customer look like?
I would say like any other customer of any other bank in our community. We've got the smallest business customers up to some large, much larger business customers that traditionally probably weren't thought of as could be banked by a small community bank.
And I guess that's where I was going with my question. So we kind of look at, industry terms of
Mhm.
a small business and then a micro business, maybe 10 employees, a mini business, 5
Mhm.
employees or fewer. Is that a niche for you folks? You really
Well,
focus on those?
I mean, I think obviously we have a niche in business customers that probably are in that 5 to 10 employee range, but we have customers that have 50 to 100 employees. We have customers that have 50 million in sales, which traditionally you wouldn't think of a community bank being able to service them and their needs. But we're able to partner and give them a little more white glove service than what they're getting in other places.
So when you're talking about partnering, you're talking about finding other institutions to participate in a particular
Yeah,
loan in most cases.
if there was a larger loan amount, right? Because we're,
Yeah.
as you're aware, highly regulated. We can only lend so much to one customer, but I've got several banks that we can go to, and we've got customers that we have 15 to 20 million in lending with
Because of those
because of those
participations.
partnerships.
Very
Yes.
good. Yeah, very good. And then, um, coming out of COVID, we've heard that there's, the deposits are way up. People are sitting on a bunch of cash. And have you seen that at
Oh,
Mercer County?
Absolutely. We've had a tremendous amount of growth over the last 2 years, and I really attribute most of that to the COVID relief packages that have come through on both for individuals and for businesses. The PPP funding was vital to a lot of our businesses and local businesses to keep them moving as we had shutdowns and everything. But then all the stimulus money that was going to that, the people that needed it have spent it, but there was an awful lot of people that
Maybe didn't need it right away.
didn't necessarily need it right away, and it's
Yeah.
sitting there.
Okay.
Our deposits have grown about $130 million, which may not sound like a lot, but that's over 40% in 2 years.
That's what I was going to ask
That's
you. If you
tremendous
didn't
growth.
say the 40%, I was going to ask you, what does that mean?
That's tremendous
percentage-wise?
growth for any institution.
That's fantastic. So
Yeah.
as a result, have you been able to increase your legal lending limit to
Oh
customers?
yeah, absolutely. That is a product of that. So we are able to lend more.
Okay, so you're still in the consumer lending game as well, right? With
Yes.
home loans and auto loans and things like
Consumer
that.
mortgages, home equity loans, auto loans, personal loans, absolutely.
That's great. And I want to talk about the really your staff and how you're finding talent, because every business that we talk to, whether we're out doing outreach calls or they come in the studio and we do a Discover Mercer County Business TV program with, the biggest challenge is finding people. Are you finding that in the banking industry as well, and in particular Mercer County State Bank?
We've been very fortunate, and I won't say it's been easy, because we feel the same pains as everybody, and the great resignation that has happened. We've had more turnover in the last 2 years, I think, than in the first 6 years I was at the bank. But I think several things help with that. I think, we have a very competitive pay, and we have outstanding benefits for our employees. And it's been one of the mainstays of the board of the bank, was to make sure if somebody works at the bank, they should be able to retire from there in a like manner, and be comfortable in their retirement years. We're very committed to that, and healthcare, is obviously a big concern for people, and we have a very nice health benefit package for our employees. It really helps attract new employees to the bank.
So I think that's really a benefit of having a local board
Mhm.
and a locally driven board. These are probably business people and other community
Mhm.
focused people that really want to see the bank thrive. And I think that's one of the unique things of being a small community bank,
Yeah.
is you can keep that local flavor. You bring a lot of local flavor though, because you're a homegrown guy. You talk about growing up out there in Lakeview, going to Lakeview High School. And so
Mhm.
at Penn-Northwest, we've created this initiative to try and keep more young people in the county by connecting our college graduates in the county with jobs in the county, so that our younger people, as they're going from middle school to high school and then picking a college, they realize, hey, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity here in Mercer County for me to have a career. How have you seen that change from when you were coming out of high school and going to Grove City locally? You- I'm amazed at how many opportunities there are in the county, but you see it on the front lines with your lending and all your other banking
Yeah, I
activities.
mean, I think it's a conscious choice that young adults have to make to want to stay in Mercer County. And I've got three daughters we talked about, and there's a whole world out there that they see today. Um, so I think it's highlighting what the bright spots of the county are and what the important things uh, really are for here for them to enjoy and for them to have a satisfying career. So anything we can do to promote that and to promote new industry coming in, I think is huge to maintaining and keeping those young adults here in the working area.
Well, you and our other partner banks throughout the county have played a huge role in that. Obviously, when you're in the business retention, business expansion, and the business recruitment business that we're in at Penn-Northwest, we really do need high quality, forward thinking, proactive lending institutions that we can partner with, and you guys have certainly been that.
Well, thank you, and it's been likewise going back. There's a lot of deals we wouldn't be able to do without the funding that you can bring to the table and the grants and such, and that I think that partnership helps really drive what we're able to do here in Mercer County.
And I think that's why we really do get a lot of support from our county commissioners at Penn-Northwest,
Hmm.
because they do see us out working with our banks and putting together these, hey, you take a big piece, we take a small piece, and together we can make something happen for
Yeah,
these companies.
yeah.
So, Scott, we're going to take a very quick break. We're going to show our viewers a video about some of the things we've been doing at Penn-Northwest, and we're going to be right back with Scott Patton from Mercer County State Bank. Stay tuned.
Is your company looking to expand and grow? Then Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the right place for you. Whether your company is involved in manufacturing, technology, logistics, health, or business services, shale gas exploration, or retail, we can help. Mercer County, Pennsylvania offers low-cost land, valuable infrastructure, a quality labor force, and the right financial tools to make your corporate expansion an affordable reality. Mercer County is only a day's drive to major markets including Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo, New York City, Chicago, and even southern Canada. Companies like GE Transportation, Joy Cone Company choose to make it in Mercer County, and Penn-Northwest wants to show you how your company can also make it in Mercer County too. Our team of experts will help you expand and save dollars. How does Penn-Northwest do it? How does Penn-Northwest save companies so much money? With a combination of low-interest loans, grants and credits, tax abatements, and even tax-free property. Here's the best part. Penn-Northwest will do most of the work for you. Just click on the button below and get the process started. Or you can first get an idea of how your organization can make it in Mercer County by using the savings estimator located at makeitinmercercounty.com. You'll see that expanding your business in Mercer County, Pennsylvania is the move that makes the most dollars and cents. Call Penn-Northwest Development Corporation at 724-662-3705 for more information.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that little video on Penn-Northwest Development Corporation, and we are back with Scott Patton, President and CEO of Mercer County State Bank. Scott, really enjoying our conversation, but I know banks are kind of a breeding ground for people that are community focused, and you're no exception. You sit on the board of the iconic Stoneboro Fair, over a century old, I think, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And the one thing on your resume, though, that I really wanted to hear more about is the Maple Lane Farms Charitable Foundation. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So it's probably 5 years ago I got involved with that organization. It's a local businessman, Bill Doyle, who has a farm out in Jackson Center, and he started an event, I want to say maybe 15, 20 years ago. He wanted to have a party. So he invited a bunch of people and they got together, and it just so happened to be when Hurricane Katrina had hit New Orleans. And they thought, well, we ought to try and raise some money tonight and send some money down there, and they did.
So it's just
And
like a pass in the hat.
it was
type
just
of
pass the hat. They may have done a 50-50. I'm not sure, but just kind of that. And they raised $1,500, $2,000, and they thought, well, we might have something here. Let's and it just kind of went like that for 5 or 6 years, and it wasn't real formalized, and just people showed up, brought food, and did a bunch of things and raised some money every year. But now it's it's a ticketed event, and it's catered, and there's entertainment and some live auctions and silent auctions and 50-50s. There's all kinds of different things to raise money that night. And we raise about $65,000 a year.
Wow, that's impressive.
That we're able to give back to the communities. I think about 30,000 of that's given back to high school seniors going to college.
So you have a scholarship component
for
to
scholarships, and then the rest is grants to different organizations or individuals that have just fallen on hard times in the community. And it's just I can't say enough about it. It's a great event. Mr. Doyle has done a nice job.
And how would someone that might be in need communicate with the foundation? Is there a website out there? Can they call Mercer County State Bank and learn more about it?
We're a component of the Community Foundation of Northwest PA and Eastern Ohio. So that's one way. There's several local people that are involved. You get in contact with myself or Bill Doyle or any number of people that are involved in the event.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. That's just sprung out of
just people wanting to help.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. And Scott, as I've been around the community and worked on some deals with your team, never heard any negative word about Scott Patton. You're a very well-loved person in Mercer County, but I know that leads into your leadership style as well. And we talk a lot on the program and while we're out calling on businesses about their culture. So what kind of culture have you tried to cultivate at the bank to attract and retain your employees? The pay and benefits are one thing, but they got to love getting out of bed in the morning on Monday and finding their way to
we
work.
got to give them an opportunity to thrive and do what they love. And that's what I try to do. I try to hire the best people for the job, give them a pretty wide lane to maneuver in, and let them do their job. And I've had bosses that micromanage. I don't need to do that. But I just think if you can create that environment where people love to come to work, they love what they're doing, and they can make a difference in the organization, you can build a pretty great place to work.
Well, it sounds like you're not afraid to give younger people an opportunity and also give them some responsibility once they've shown you they can use it appropriately. And
yeah, absolutely. Somebody gave me a chance one time, and that's what I try to do. We've built a pretty young team. Sarah Palmer, who's my chief lending officer, she was just named to ICBA's 40 under 40. Which ICBA is the Independent Community Bankers of America. That's a very large organization. So I think that says a lot for what we do and the people that we have.
No question about it. I mean, we have an opportunity to work with Sarah a lot, and if she's the example of the type of talent that you have, and I know some of the folks that you've recruited from other institutions to come to work at the bank, what does the future look like for Mercer County State Bank?
I think the future's bright. As we look around and become more involved in the communities we're in, there's a lot of opportunities for us. And the more that we can get the word out that we're easy to work with, we do what we say we're going to do, and we get the job done, I think the more that helps us in the future.
Do you have and you don't have to talk too much about strategy, but are you looking at particular communities as you just drawing a bigger circle, or is your circle kind of set and you're trying to figure out how to maneuver within it?
Our circle's never set. We always look for the right opportunity to come along at the right time, but I think there's enough opportunities in the communities that we're already in that we can broaden our scope and our breadth of business in those communities.
What do you love about Mercer County?
The county, Mercer County, the county, or Mercer County, the bank?
Well, Mercer County, the county. You live here, you work here. Even though your daughters have kind of gone away for the time being. We'll recruit them back
That's
here at
right.
some point. I came back, but you know what
I,
keeps you here?
I think it's a great community. I think there are a lot of opportunities here if you're willing to put the hard work in, and you can do anything you want to in Mercer County. But more so than that, it's just, you don't have the hustle and bustle of and I'll say Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's even not quite as fast as some of the bigger cities in this country that attract a lot of our young people to them. You've got a great education system. You got great colleges like Teal and Grove City, Westminster,
Yeah.
right here, where you can get a really solid education. I think is great. Good local schools, and there's opportunities if you like to get outdoors. Wilhelm has some great walking trails. I know a lot of people like to go there and fish and just hang out. There's a lot of those opportunities in Mercer County.
And that's what you like to do. You're an outdoors guy.
I like to be outdoors.
Yeah.
Everybody says, well, what do you hunt? What do you? I don't, but I love to golf. I like to, and people say I'm crazy, but I like to cut wood.
Yeah, I do too. It's part of what
it-
attracted me back to our farm here in Greenville.
It just
So,
gets me
yeah.
out, right?
Yeah. We had beautiful weather last weekend. Not sure when we're airing the program, but it was just great to be out for 2 solid days and just get stuff done,
And
cleaning
when I'm
things
not a
up.
banker, I plant. I have a little bit of land that I'm a farmer part-time.
Oh,
So.
I love that. I love that, Scott. Well, what you are is the leader of a great bank that is a partner to many, many, many in this community. And you've helped a lot of businesses not only get started in business, but stay in business. And we're looking forward to a relationship between Penn-Northwest and Mercer County State Bank well into the future when you and I have ridden off into the sunset somewhere. So we really thank you for your time today, Scott. Anything else you have for us?
One thing we didn't touch on, and I'll touch on it real quick, is, we give back to the communities that we're involved in. And, we have a program right now, MCSB Gives, where we've provided matching grants for different organizations in our community. And just through that last year, we were able to provide a little over $250,000 to organizations in our communities that we serve.
That's fantastic. And to learn more about that, they can just go to
They-
a local branch.
They can go to a local branch. They can go to our website. They can go to LinkedIn, Facebook. We have them on there also.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Something I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's a big number. So
Yeah.
congratulations. That's awesome. And we want to thank you for watching this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. Again, I want to thank Scott Patton, President and CEO of Mercer County State Bank, for their bank's commitment to make it in Mercer County. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we are producing this show in the state-of-the-art TV and radio studios here in the James Pettis Communications Center on Teal College's campus in Greenville, PA. We want to thank the students, faculty, and staff who've helped bring this show to life. And if you have an idea or a suggestion for a future edition of Discover Mercer County Business, please connect with our Improvement Movement team on our website at penn-northwest.com or give us a call at 724-662-3705. And remember, you can also find out more about Penn-Northwest Development Corporation by searching for us on YouTube or connecting with us on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County Business. We'll see you again next time.